Hi, this is the Lionheart Herbs instructional video about how to make your tonic tea. So I'm going to show you how to make a large batch at once, enough to last you for several days, probably ideally a week. So what you need is a saucepan. Now I've gone here for a stainless steel one, a glass one or a ceramic one is also excellent. Ideally it should have a lid as well, like this one does, that actually fits, that's excellent. Spring water is ideal. I like to use spring water, but of course don't be put off if you don't have it. Tap water's fine, it still works. If you want to use a water filter like we got here, that's also good. You want to have a sieve if we're doing a large batch, so if you're just making enough tea for a cup, then obviously a little tea strainer will be fine. We want a jug that we're going to pour it into afterwards. We're going to have a funnel if we want to end up putting it in a bottle to take with us to work or something like that, or putting it into a flask if we want to keep it warm. And lastly, of course, we've got our actual tonic tea blend. I've gone for the Rejuvenate formula because it is, I know you shouldn't have favourites, but it's my favourite. It's one of those ones that I'm sure I'm going to be having every day I can for the rest of my life. Amazing one. So, this is what I do. I'm going to show you how to do the very easiest thing I could possibly do, which is a week's worth for once. Now for me, if I'm going to do a week's worth, I'm probably going to do about half a bag. So if you want to do like a cup for yourself, like it says on the side, you probably want to do like a couple of tablespoons at a time. The least you want for a week is probably about a quarter of one of these 500 gram bags, but I'm going to go for half a bag. And you know, if I really want to go for it, I do a whole bag for a week. It'll be half a bag. And pouring it out, you know, just try and make sure you get some of the little bitty bits and the big bits as well. A little bit more, yeah, so that's about half. So that's an excellent amount for about a week. With that sort of amount, you're going to have really good results. So now I'll fill it up with some water. We use spring water, really treat ourselves. Just by the way, I probably want to use spring water, which is really low in calcium. So this one I bought is 10 milligrams of calcium, and pH at source is 6.2. That's a really good sign. That means it's high quality spring water. Often, ironically, the more expensive spring water is higher in calcium and higher pH, which leaves it open to the possibility of having nanobacteria in, which is something you definitely want to avoid, and is one of the main reasons not to drink tap water. So yeah, go for spring water, not mineral water, and lower calcium the better. Okay, so we filled up our pan. Now I've just done here without even thinking about it, but yeah, unconsciously what I've done is I've probably done about 3 or 4 times the volume in water as in herbs. So if you want that in specific amounts, I'd say I'll put in about 250 grams of herbs, and I've put in about a litre of water. So that's a good amount. Now obviously to last us a week, we're going to get through more than a litre of tea, but what we do is we heat up the tea, we boil it, or bring it very near boiling and simmer it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pour it out, drink it over the space of a day or two, and we're going to top it up again with more water, and we're going to keep doing that over the course of a few days to a week, until eventually the tea is going to run out of flavour, and that's how we can tell that it's done its job, that there's no more goodness to be extracted from it. But yeah, I mean, people are surprised when I recommend this, but absolutely, you can boil it again and again, and it's just going to continue giving you benefits. So we may as well make the most of our tea. So after we put the water in, put a lid on it. And now, if you're in a rush, by all means, what you want to do is you want to put it on all the way around to number 6. Bring it to the boil, which will probably take 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then turn it down, and you can strain it off within a couple of minutes. But that's if you're on a rush. But ideally, what we want to do is we want to have it on like a low heat, like a number 1 or a number 2, and just let it heat up slowly. Now, some people say to me, "Can I just pour boiling water from a kettle onto there?" The answer to that, of course, is yes, you can do. It's just that in order to extract the goodness from the herbs, it is ideal to add cold water and let it heat up slowly, or let it heat up quickly if that's what you've got time for. So that's why I'm going to do it this way right now. So now we're just going to let the herbs heat up, and we're going to let the goodness from the herbs go into the water. Because don't forget, a lot of the reasons why we say that part of the problem with cooking or boiling foods is that a lot of the goodness gets lost because it goes into the water. That's why we steam, right? Well, all the goodness from the herbs goes into the water when we do this. So this is why we're going through this process. And we'll be back in a minute when the tea is done, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so now we've made our tea. It's been brewing for a good couple of hours, as you probably can tell, because it's now getting dark outside. So let's have a look inside. We'll also let it cool down a bit, because we don't want to be handling it when it's boiling hot, obviously, health and safety wise. So it's lost a bit of moisture. You can tell now, in fact, the herbs have gone up pretty much to the level of the water, which is why I warned you when you fill it up with water to make sure that the water is about 3 times as high as the level of the herbs, at least. That's a good marker, although it can be a lot higher. You'll just have a bit of a weaker tea. So this is like a nice strong brew. So what I'm going to do now is the next stage. So I've got my sieve, nice fine one, metal, plastic's also perfectly adequate. I've got my jug. Now my sieve doesn't fit perfectly into my jug, but hey, this is to show you that you just make do, and you make do with what you've got, and you just get it done, because there's no excuses for not having a tea every day. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour it through. A little bit spillish, that's okay, we can live with that. Alright, and the next thing I do before I even think about this, straight away, just as a routine, is I'll fill it up with water again. Okay, now, I can do one of 2 things. If I'm making like a continuous lot of it and I'm going to use it up very quickly, then I might put it on again. If I think that, you know, this is going to last me for a couple of days, because this is very strong, we're going to dilute this. If I think that's, you know, that's going to be like a couple of days worth for me, then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this, put the lid back on, wherever you want, you can cover it with tin foil. I'm just going to then put it in the fridge and leave it, voila, and then it's ready for me. And then next time I want to do it, a couple of days later, I'll run out of my tea, which I'm going to show you what to do with, put it back on, repeat the process again, simple. And then eventually when you do it, and you'll get used to this, it's going to not really taste it very much, and then that's your last brew. Throw the herbs away, start again. That should happen within a week. It will last about a week in the fridge. To be honest, it lasts longer, but if we say a week to be safe, then we know that it's fine. Obviously, if you leave it out for a very extended period of time when it's not boiling, it's going to last a bit less than a week. But you know, if you just leave it to cool down, put it in the fridge afterwards. This is a good sort of routine to do in the evening when you got back from work, in between watching telly or eating dinner or whatever, you know. Then that's great. So now, what we do? Got a bit left over in here. I'll put that in the saucepan. Really make it up as we go along here. So get rid of the leftovers. There. Sieve in the sink. Quick rinse. So I've got my tea. Now I've got my bottle. Obviously any bottle will do, a nice plastic bottle will do. If you want to keep it warm and not cool it down, that's also possible, and you can put it in a thermos flask. This is the way that I do it personally. Then pour it through. And then I probably, it depends. If I don't want to carry too much in terms of weight, then I might leave it like that and top it with water as I go. Otherwise, I might just top it up with water all the way to the top. And then I can just drink it straight out of the bottle. So it depends what I want to do. Get rid of that. All that just needs a rinse, which should take about 20 seconds. And the whole process would take about 3 minutes of your actual time to do enough to last you about a couple of days. So really not a big commitment of time, not a big commitment of your energy, really simple, and something that anyone can do. Like I say, if you can make a cup of tea, you can transform your health and revolutionise your energy levels.